And what I'd like to share with you is that you are the creator of your body. You know, I often think about what we create. I created my body, you created your bodies. And you know, as I say, what you think, you create. What you create, you experience. But it's more far-reaching than direct. It's mostly indirect. And by that I mean, if what you think about, if you think you're a good person and you love yourself and you think you're worthy, then you will look at your body as a temple and something you want to honor. So you will eat properly, you will exercise properly, whatever you desire to keep it in good order. It's almost like having a vehicle that you love, so you keep it running in good order. In this case, it's your body in good order. In other words, feed it the food it needs, the love it needs, that's so powerful, the joy it needs, and the understanding it needs. And when we're young, we think our body is indestructible. At least I did. And as we get a little older, you know, we begin to feel some aches and pains. And in working with the aches and pains and understanding it, one of the things I've begun to understand was that we age because we have a energy and frequency and vibration of aging. But it's not what we think about, not what you think about. What I really wanted to say is you look at your grandparents. As they get older, they become more gray-haired. Their mobility is limited, and pretty soon they're bedridden or in a wheelchair or whatever. And then the same occurs with your parents down the road. So what we have is a visual that's going into our subconscious and unconscious mind, which is therefore playing an old CD, which is therefore playing in our body, and it merely says this: you're going to look like your grandmother, grandfather, your parents when you get older. That's what they're going to say. Exactly. And it's some kind of belief system. So again, I reiterate, what you think you create, what you create. So what you think you create, and what you create you experience. So thinking about your grandparents or parents aging, there's some subliminal thoughts you're going to be that way. And you can draw a line in the sand and say, wait a minute, I don't have to be that way. Now, it's true that you are aging. It's true that your cells are changing. And all those things are true. But why do some people at 70 or 80 look like they're 50 or 60? And other people in their 50 or 60 look like they're 80 or 90? There's something going on. And that has to do with their belief system. So I want to concentrate on your belief system on this conversation that I'm having with you. And take a look at your body and say, and I'd like all of you to take a look at your body after you take a bath or a shower with mouth closed and see what you see. And if you're seeing something that disturbs you, whatever that may be, then ask why. How did I create it? And why am I disturbed about it? And it's pretty amazing. And I'm going to embarrass Tia, but Tia is in her 60s, and she's getting a black belt in Taekwondo, I believe it is, and she's in great, wonderful shape because she doesn't believe in letting her body get old and age. And that's one of the ways she can handle it and do it. And you can do the same thing. But it boils down to, what do you believe, what do you want to create, and where do you want to be? That's what it boils down to. And understanding that is, are you limited and being limited in your thoughts? Are you having an open book and saying, well, this is the realm of possibilities, A, B, C, and D. Which one do I choose? And that's so important for us to think about. Because we read about all the illnesses, you know, you're getting older, the big C word in illness, and you have, you know, diabetes, and on and on and on and on. And of course, we talk about, you know, Alzheimer's and slowing down of our thoughts and so on and so forth. And anything you start to talk about, you're setting up a belief system. So you believe you're going to be sharper and younger and much easier and more healthier and more mobile, you're going to become that. If you're going to say the opposite, you're going to be that. And many people I talk to said, well, they say their memories are getting shorter and, you know, they can't remember things as well. And, you know, I began to look at that. In some cases, there is a case of that, slowing down. But in a lot of cases, I talk to young people, and I'm talking in their 20s, they can't remember certain things. And when I looked at it further, I saw that we're so distracted that we don't retain the information very long unless we're focused. And the other thing I began to notice is you get a computer and you got a disk, and it's fast as all get out. And you keep adding more and more software and more of this and more of that, and it begins to slow down, because there's so much information or information overload. So if you're having trouble with your memory, you're on information overload. That's important for all of you to know. And some of you know my very dear best friend had his leg amputated. And it had an infection, kept getting, the bone was infected. It would heal, get infected, bone infected, and so on and so forth. And he would say to me, well, someday I'm going to have to get it cut off. Someday I'm going to have to do it. And after saying that for 6 or 7 years, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's really sad, because I love him dearly. And I really want to knock him on the head and say, look what you've created, and have a come to Jesus meeting. But I honor his decision. I don't have to agree with it, but I honor his decision. But why do some people that I run into have cancer, and they're totally, completely healed from cancer, and others are succumb to cancer, or succumb to diabetes, or whatever it may be? Why? It all has to do with your belief system and what you're going to accept in your life. Every illness starts with some kind of an emotion, whatever that may be. And that emotion begins to grow and causes the body to be dis-at ease, which causes the body to be dis-at ease and creates a disease in the body. Therefore, is it true that you want to be part of that or not? I also have a dear friend that no male in his family lived over the age of 62 or 63. Well, he's turning 66. Actually, he did, or 67. Well, what do you think about that? He broke the circle because he didn't allow it to really overcome his thinking and really believe in it. You see, that's how powerful we are. Thoughts are things. What you think you create, what you create, you experience. What are you creating in your body? What are you thinking about your body? What are you honoring in your body? And what are you putting into your body? Isn't it amazing? Some people, and I have an acquaintance, eats like a horse, drinks 3 or 4 beers, eats all kinds of sweets, and he's skinny as a rail. Everybody says, his metabolism is running very high, and that's true. So why can't you amp up your metabolism to a comfortable, healthy rate? Why? Because you don't believe it. Or you allow your doubts and fears in your life to take you over. Whatever your fears and doubts are in your life, it is going to affect your body. Because your body is an antenna, it's energy, and it's putting out your thoughts. It's sending out your thoughts. Your entire body is sending out all those thoughts. One of the things they discovered that if you have a broken leg and you put a mild electric current over the broken part of your leg will heal quickly. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that we are energy. Pretty interesting. Thoughts are energy. And just think, when you're angry, when you're upset, and you scream and yell, what happens? Well, your blood flows faster, your heart flows faster. There are a lot of things. You get a pain in the head. Your veins stick out. All these things are happening. Your gastrointestinal system is now out of whack. Sometimes you can't sleep. Your digestive system. All these things are going on. And who created it? You. Now, maybe somebody pushed your button. Granted. But you don't have to be part of that. So the message that I'm going to wind down and talk to you about is, think about your body as a wonderful temple and an example of who you are and what you are. And there isn't anybody that I don't know that wants to dress nicely or look nicely or appear nicely or look clean and healthy. There's no one that I don't know of. Now, there are some people that may want to punish themselves and do the opposite, but in their hearts, they want to look as good as they can. And it all starts with your belief system. It all starts with letting go of those things that create the doubts and fears in your life that you're buying into. Years ago, I used to do a lot of intuitive readings of a certain kind, and I would do these psychic fairs. Same question. When is my next spouse coming in? When am I going to make more money? When am I going to get married? And what's my next job? Well, after hearing about 30 or 40 of them, because I used to do 60 and 70 15-minute readings, I got, true source, I don't want this anymore. Same question. And they'd go from intuitive to intuitive. And one of them said, well, you told me the same thing 3 other people did. I said, what are you paying money and coming to me for? If one tells you that and you doubt and you go to 2, you got your proof. And that's the point. The point is that you are the creator of your life. And you can create your body into a magnificent energy. And you do that by first loving yourself and forget about your imperfections. Forget about any imperfection, too short, too tall, too thin, too whatever, heavy, too thick, whatever they use. You're perfect. And the more you think you're perfect, the more you believe you're perfect, then the body will respond. And how does it respond? Well, I want to be perfect, so I don't need this extra fat. I don't need this arthritis. I don't need this. I don't need the ulcers. I don't need diabetes. And what happens is it changes. And a very good friend of mine who is on diabetic medicines and was high blood pressure and a ton of medicines. And he began to honor his body and take off weight. He's now off all medication. Blew the doctors away. Everything. He is normal or slightly below normal, his labs are, which are great. Because he decided to change his body and he loved himself enough to do that. And that's what I'm saying to each one of you. Each one of you have created your body. If you're happy with it, stick with it. If you're not, then close your eyes, imagine what you think you would like your body to be, and then honor it. Because I'm going to tell you, you've only got one body. Enjoy it. Enjoy your life, and your body will radiate to that energy. Enjoy the things that you do. And stop focusing on what you don't have, can't have, and what you would like to have. And do not look up to anybody who is materialistic. Because if you do, then you're losing sight of why you're here. You're not here for materiality. You're here to experience life, to feel the sun, the rain, to have relationships, to have children, or to play with children, to have fun and laugh, and see what life is all about. That's what you're here for. And when you start doing that, everything falls into place. And the reason it falls into place is because your soul and higher self knows exactly what is desirable for you to make yourself happy, healthy, joyous, and a fulfilling life. So I leave you with those thoughts.